Good morning and greetings from Northumberland. It's just after dawn on the 25th of October, but of course it means that it's earlier at dawn. It's 7 o'clock rather than 8 o'clock like yesterday because the clocks went back. British summertime has ended. We've returned to Greenwich Mean Time, or God's time as some of us call it. The interesting thing is that, of course, the whole of British summertime this year has been dominated by COVID from the 29th of March, a week after the lockdown began, until now. Our newspapers, our thoughts, everything we have done is being dominated by this terrible pandemic and its effects upon people. And we continue to go forward through GMT, hoping that when BST comes round again in March, we will have made some more progress. And just a little scriptural key to that this morning. Today is the last Sunday after Trinity, certainly in the new Anglican calendar, because next week we celebrate All Saints, and then there's Remembrance Sunday, and we are thinking about the kingdom of God all the way through November, leading us on into Advent. And the Gospel for today, for the last Sunday after Trinity, is from St. Matthew's Gospel, chapter 22. And it's this. A lawyer wanted to put him to the test and said, "What is the greatest commandment?" And Jesus said, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the greatest and first commandment. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbour as yourself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets." And what a better way there could be than, no better way there could be than to enter into this difficult winter than with those words of Jesus in our hearts and in our minds. For Christian people, to love God is the key to it all. Our relationship with God, our love for God, because he first loved us, is at the centre of our being and our life. And then the other two parts of that commandment, to love our neighbours and to love the neighbours as we love ourselves. There are two things there. Two things that are important, I think, because firstly, the loving of neighbour is the obvious one. Our laws, our actions, our thoughts, our motives have to come from that love. It's a responsibility for those who decide and enact our laws. Is this loving to the neighbour, to the most vulnerable, to the one who is in need? And it's the responsibility of each of us as an individual, as we think about our own actions, our own thoughts. Is this loving? Is this the thing that will embody that commandment of Jesus in our lives? But there is this other little bit. We have to love our neighbours as we love ourselves. And that's important too. For many of us, as we go through and enter into this winter, it's going to be one of the most difficult times in our lives. We may not face physical hardships. We may not face some of the terrible things that those who need to use our food banks and our other schemes face. But all of us are going to face challenges and difficulties that come out of this terrible pandemic situation. And all of us will need to take proper regard for our own welfare as well, so that we can move through this winter loving God, loving our neighbours, and taking care of ourselves. May God bless us in everything that we do.